Okay, today we're going to go over cosine law, okay? But we're only going to use cosine law to solve for a side. After our quiz Monday, we'll actually go into how to use it to solve for an angle. We're specifically focusing on a side. Now in your textbook, this is one version of the cosine law. They've given you 3. Instead of memorizing all 3, and if you have already, that's great. It isn't the hardest thing to do, but it is actually simpler to just memorize one of them. I chose this one here as usually the last one, known as C. And instead, learn how to rename triangles around it, okay? So, the formula states C squared, so the side we're looking for squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, which are the other 2 sides, minus 2 times A times B times cos of that angle C. Okay, that's very important that I said that times there. There's a common error people make here. The first thing we need to do is make sure we know how to name a triangle properly. If this is angle C, what becomes side C? The bottom, the base, right? Which means this would be side what? B, and then our last one would be? Okay, good. It's very important that whatever angle we name it, A, B, or C, that the opposite side has a corresponding letter to it. Okay? Now, in order to actually solve this, if you only have memorized one of the formulas, you're going to rename a triangle, and remember how I spoke about before in sine law, it didn't matter if it was A, B, or C, it didn't matter where you put it. If this is the formula you're solving, the unknown on the outside will be the side we're looking for. So in other words, we're always going to call the side we're looking for C, if this is the only formula we've memorized. Okay, so we're going to go on that stipulation. So, assuming C is the only side that's missing, or we're going to solve for, we're going to rename the triangle. So we have a triangle down here. I haven't named it yet. Okay? This is my missing side. It's called X. In terms of the formula, and I'll rewrite it again, C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times cos of angle C. Okay? If this side X is our unknown, we're going to call that side C, which means the 12 degrees becomes angle C, okay? So whatever we're looking for, since we've memorized this specific formula, we're going to call that C. And the reason being is we're either solving for the value on the outside or we're solving for this angle at the end. Today we're not going to solve for angles, we're just going to focus on that side. So we're just going to be focusing on solving for the outside of this formula right here. From there we can call anything we like. So if this is angle A, then corresponding to that, this would be side A. And if this is angle B, oh, let's do that in green. If this is angle B, then corresponding to that, this would be side B. So we're going to plug this information into it. Now, just to recap, we have gone over sine law. And normally in sine law is a little simpler in terms of solving. The only thing is, in order to use sine law, what do I need to have? What's that? We have to have an angle and the measurement of an opposite side. Okay, so if you look quickly, angle C, I don't have the measurement of side C. I don't have the angle measurement of B, but I do have side B. And I don't have the measurement of angle A, but I have side A. I don't have one opposite ratio. I need to have an opposite ratio in order to use sine law. And because we only have one angle here, I can't subtract from 180 to figure out what the other 2 are. So in this case, we have to use our sine law. If you were to try to set up, cosine law. If you were to try to set up sine law, you would notice that we wouldn't have enough information to solve this. So let's go about actually plugging this into the formula. So our C is going to be called X. So we have X squared is equal to, A in this case is 4 squared, plus B in this case is 5 squared. Subtract 2 multiplied by A, which is 4, multiplied by B, which is 5, times cos of angle C. Angle C is 12 degrees. Okay? Remember I said that multiplications have become very important. So we have X squared is equal to 16 plus 25. Now think of this as a negative 2 when we're multiplying. Okay? Negative 2 times 4 is going to give us negative 8 times 5, negative 40. Good. So think of it like negative 40 or subtract 40 cos 12. Now, many people will make this error. You guys won't. I'm telling you now. We can add these together, but I cannot subtract from 40 because according to BEDMAS, we have to do the multiplication first. So make sure you equate what's on this outside before we do any adding and subtracting. Okay? So negative 40 times cos 12. What is it? Is it? Okay, let's just double check here. Cos 12 times 40 negative 39.1. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to be subtracting 39.1. X squared is equal to 16 plus 25? Good. 41. Okay, so now we have 41, and we'll move this a little closer. 41. Subtract 39.1, which is going to give us what? Anyone know? 1.9. Are we done? Is that measurement of that side 1.9? What do I have to do? Square root. That's okay. So we take this, and we take our 1.9, so 1.9 square root 1.37. So in other words, our unknown side was 1.37 units in length. Okay? So really the hardest part about this is setting up it, if we've only memorized one formula, set it up so that C is our unknown, and then just going through the process of BEDMAS. That's all there really is to it when we're solving for the side using cosine.